Welcome to study our course called Native Architecture. In this lesson 45, we will study the Kubernetes-Network service. How can the application could be accessed by using the service and the cluster IP? So first, what is a service? And service is an abstract way to expose an application running on a set of ports as a network service. With Kubernetes, you don't need to modify your application to use an unfamiliar service discovery mechanism. Kubernetes gives ports their own IP addresses and a single DNS name for a set of ports, and so you can load balance across them. So this is the definition of the service. So why should we use the service? Because Kubernetes ports are created and destroyed to match the state of your cluster. Ports are non-permanent resources. So if you use the deployment to run your app, it can create and destroy port dynamically. So each port gets its own IP address. However, in deployment, the set of ports running in one moment in time could be different from the set of ports running that application in a moment later. This leads to a problem. If some set of ports called the backends provide functionality to other ports called the front ends inside your cluster, how do the front ends find out and keep track of which IP address to connect to, so that the front end can use the back end part of the workloads? So this is why should use the service. Okay, so first in this lesson, so we will create a deployment and then create a service for the deployment and do some tests such as the load balance, how load balance across these ports. Okay, so first we create the deployment in the master. So we can use the command kube. We use the image, use the engine. So use with kubectl create deployment engines deploy. This is the deployment name and specify the image. We're using the engines as the image. Okay, where kubectl. Okay, we enter so that we can see that the deployment engines deployer is created. So and also how can we create a deployment, create a service for this deployment? So we can there are two ports we need to pay attention to. So we can this command. So first is the port. This port, such as we specify the 18. So first you should check the ports in the deployment. Kubectl get ports. Oh, we should specify the replicas to 3. We can what's use this scaling a deployment. Yes, we can use this kubectl scale replicas count 3 to deploy engines. Oh, so now we can use override to show the load IP address. Now we can that there are 3 ports in the engines deployment. Okay, so now first we need to create a deployment, create a service. Okay, so we expose the deployment and expose the port is the 8000 and the target port we in our engines is 18. So first we can, if we don't use the service, so how can we access the port? We can here we just do a test. We first go into the port and change its home page. Okay, so if we can use the curve, this is the port network. We can say this is the home page, the default home page of the engine server. So we just choose the home page to different, such as the first is 111, second is 222, the third is 333. That's the consist of the home page. So first we just need to go into this. We can use the kubectl exec it and the port name and the byte. Sorry, the hyphen. Yes, now we go into this, the first port, we just into the home page path. Here. here. So we echo 111. 111 to the index. Okay. And okay. And the second we also change it to this is we delete this 582D4T. Okay. 18 and X. And we also go into the third. Third is BFC G2. Okay. And say USICL. And the index. Okay, so now we can do a test such way as the code. And the first port IP is this, and okay, we can use it. We'll output the 111 as the default home page, and also we call to get the second home page. It should be the output should be 222. Okay, and we to use call to get the third port home page. It should return 333. So we can find that if one of the port failed, so how will the traffic will be routed? So we just can create a service. So the create a service. The service will here. We create a service. The service will create the route the traffic to the first and the second and the third dynamically. So if one of the port failed, we restart in another node. If this is such as we have a front end, the front end will just visit the service, and the service will direct the traffic to the one of the port. Okay, the first we should use the port. This port in the cluster, we expose this port to the front end, and the target port is this. The target port is the port of the port. So okay, so in the front end we can access the URL as the IP address of the service and with the port here. So first we just create a service for this Nginx deployer. We can use this command create. So we can use the expose deploy Nginx, and with expose the port 8000 and target, and specify the target port to 8, and we can also specify the service type, because we should use the class IP. We will introduce the load port in the next lesson. So now we can use this command to create a service, expose this application with the port 8000 to the front end, and the front end will use the IP and the port. Okay. Because it shows that the service engines already existed, because we have created this service in our test. So first we need to delete the service. We can use kubectl delete service Nginx deploy. So we can use we can't find this service. We can use kubectl to get it. We can use this switcher as the shorthand for the service. Okay, this deploy kubectl delete. Yeah, now we can see that the service Nginx deployer is depleted. So now we just re-enter this command and to expose the this Nginx. So now we can say that we use this to check. Yes, now we can that we have created the Nginx deployer service, and its cluster IP is this. So in the cluster we can access the we can access this service by using this IP. So we can do a test use cur, and this should because the okay, and because we must specify the port, because our port is 8000. here we can see it will to be routed to the target port. Okay, we can see that now it is output is 333. We can also 333 111 maybe 222. Okay, because it load balance across all the loads. So okay, we can see the 222. So okay, we can use this IP. So the front VOE front end could access this service by using the cluster IP and its port to access this. So now we can access the service in all the loads in the cluster. So we log into the work loader. So we can use this work one load. So now we have login to the work1 load. We can use also this IP address and the port. Oh, see the paste. Yes, now we can in the work1 load we can also access the service. So it will load balance across all the ports. So the first way is use the IP address, but we can also use the domain name. So the format of the domain name is including 3 parts. First is the service name, and the second part is the namespace, and the third is the SVC shorthand. So we need to find the SVC name. So we can use the kubectl get SVC. So we can the SVC name is the engines deployer. So okay, so this is engines deployer and yeah, and yeah, and the default. As we say, this is the we can say this is the domain. This is the domain name. But if you use the domain name as a destination address, you could just only use it in the pod, not in the cluster. So if you use this and the default, it will show out could not to resolve host because all the host domain name are resolved in the network, in the cluster network. You should just use this in the pod. So we just create another deployment called Tomcat. We can use it. We use this engines use this IP address in the pod. So we can query deploy specify image equals the Tomcat. Create deploy. Oh, we must specify the Tomcat. Specify the deploy name. Okay, and this Tomcat. Yes, now it shows that this Tomcat deployment is created. Now we can ctl get pods. So now we need to log into this Tomcat pods. We can use the kubectl exec and the pods name bin bash. So now we can use the curl with the engines deploy and the default SVC and specify the port to access the service. Now we can use the domain name in the port to access this service. So we can whether it should be the load balanced across all the ports. Yes, we can see the 111, 222, 333 across all the loads. Yes, no. So okay. So in this lesson, we just do a test to introduce the service, the concept of service. Why should we use the service and how to create a service? Also, in the last, we could also create the service, create the domain using a YAML file. Okay, so we can also using the YAML file to create the service. So we just do a test and a copy. We use this engines two. Okay, so we first exit the Tomcat. We use vi service as engines as we say the .yaml. So we paste this and Okay, and now we can use kubectl apply -f engines. Yes, we can now that we can also create the service using the YAML file. So now it shows that the engines2 deploy was created. So we can use the kubectl get service to show. Yes, we can see there is another new engines2 deploy service. Okay, so that's all.